Today we'll be discussing the weirdness of the Ginga franchise, which is the series with the most personal impact for me. The Ginga franchise was what Dragon Ball was for Latin Americans, for example, but for the Finnish youth during the heyday, aka the early 2000s, I would say. Well, it was popular in Denmark, Sweden and Norway, since those were the languages that were also available on the DVD version, so yeah. But it still is big in Finland and like those countries. I mean, it still lives on with a fan base and conventions and everything. But why? Why did it become so big? Well, the manga is set in a snowy mountainous region and we follow hunters. And that definitely connects with the Finnish people, because, well, a lot of the snow, well, not exactly very mountainous region, but bears and hunting. So, you know, it's relatable to us. I would say the anime of it really shaped me as a person. We'll be discussing about the anime slightly later. But now about the author, Yoshihiro Takahashi. He was born in September 18th in 1953 around Akita Prefecture. He was always a fan of animals and especially dogs. His manga has always followed animals, even from the very beginning. His first major hit featured, let's just say, an animal main character. Well, he made his debut manga in 1973 with a manga called Abare Jiro. Though, if you Google the name, you will literally find fuck all, so, you know, it's kind of lost media, I would say. He did have a one-shot called My Alps way back in 1972, which did get an honorable mention for the Tezuka Award, which is a big prize. While he is definitely relatively unknown for a veteran mangaka, like, he has been in the business longer than someone like Eiichiro Oda has been alive. Let's just go with that. Although, he did have some big names under him as his assistants. For example, Miyashita Akira, who created the manga called Sakigage Odo Chuku, which is definitely famous for the use of English. Like, here's a clip. And it's beautiful. It is. Then, he also had Hara Tetsuo, if the name doesn't ring any bells. His works might, because he was the artist for Fist of the North Star. Ain't that wacky? Then, I would argue his most famous assistant was Kurumada Masami, who created the Saint Seiya franchise. And if you do not know what that is, like, what rock have you been living under? Well, I've understood that is very popular in Latin America as well. Whoop-de-doo. Like many mangaka of his time, he also did make a sports manga, though they weren't that huge. He did create some baseball manga, because baseball is fucking massive in Japan, if you didn't know. But his first major success was Shiroi Senshi Yamato, which translates to like White Warrior Yamato, which tells the story of a pure white Akira Inu becoming a fighting dog. It ran from 1976 till 1988, so that is 12 years. Actually, funnily enough, it ran 12 years on the dot. It ended the same day it started. That's kinda cool. And it has 26 volumes and 100 chapters, but it has gotten republished a couple times, once with 14 volumes and once with 10 volumes. So I would argue it was pretty popular, right? And then he hit it big with his work Ginga Nagareboshi Jin. Yeah, it's the point of this video, hooray. and which started in November 15th, 1983. And that became his greatest hit. And it still lives. It is currently on its 6th installment called Ginga Densetsu Requiem, which is supposedly gonna be the final installment of the series. So that is quite a lot, right? Yoshihiro Takahashi has been making the Ginga franchise for 40 years. 40 years. And he has been a mangaka for roughly 50 years. So, you know, he's definitely a veteran. And the show has also garnered a huge amount of spin-offs and side stories. So, yeah, it's pretty popular. The manga is, well, of course, like I said, a multi-parter with 6 parts and over 150 volumes. I would argue we would get to somewhere around 165 official or like mainline story volumes at the end. So it is gonna be one of the longest manga in volume count. And Ginga Nagareboshi did actually win the Shogakukan Awards way back when it started airing, so that is actually great. And it was the only part of the Ginga franchise that aired in Shonen Jump magazine way back in, well, 83. Well, once the sequel, Ginga Densetsu Weed Game, it became a seinen manga and moved to manga Goraku. Now, what is the story about? Ginga Nagareboshi Jin, or Silverfang, or Hopeanoli if you're Finnish, firstly was a manga about hunting, and it told the tale of a real tough old man called Gohei Takeda, who made it his life goal to take down a notorious bear called Akakabuto, which means like red helmet, who he had a prior conflict with. He lost his other ear while Akakabuto lost his right eye during that fight. We also follow a tiny kid called Daisuke Fujiwara, who was, let's just say, friends with Gohei Takeda, and who was the original owner of Gin the hunting dog, who later became Gohei's trusty bear hunting dog. Gin's father was named Ricky, who was Gohei's best hunting dog he ever had, actually. We saw conflict between Gohei, Riki, and Akakabuto, which led to Riki getting thrown down a ravine in the first episode, leaving his fate unknown to us. This made Gohei train Jin to be the greatest bear dog, greater than Riki, so he could finally kill the bear who is haunting the woods near a place called Futago Pass. Akakabuto has killed a few skiers right at the beginning, which rekindled the old flame and started the entire show. Gin's training was very cruel, but that is what made him who he was. The bravest, the strongest, and probably even the smartest dog there was in the show. We also meet a hunter and a doctor called Hidetoshi. He also had a hunting dog named John, who is a German shepherd, who later became Jin's loyal right-hand man and his friend during his adventures. And, well, Dr. Hidetoshi was also, trying to avenge his father, who died thanks to Akakabuto. So yeah, he's also a human character we'll be meeting a lot. After meeting John, the manga does indeed take a step to a different direction, before we first see a bit of training of Jin and Daisuke training to become a hunter as well, and some conflict, but then everything changes when they meet a pack of wild dogs, and that's when the author actually switched the entire story up, and that change was what made Ginga Nagareboshi Jin so popular. So after Gin was captivated by these mysterious wild dogs, he decided to leave Daisuke and Gohei to, pursue the pack and join them for their cause. because the White Dogs actually did have the same goal, and that was to take down Akakabuto. Although Akakabuto has also gathered minions, let's just say, and those were Madara, Mosa, and Gesakage, and they were also famously human-killing bears. And Gesakage was named after an actual brown bear who attacked a Japanese military base, you know. But Akakabuto is no normal bear. Thanks to Gohei shooting him in the head, it wrecked his nervous system, making him grow unnaturally big. How big? 12 meters tall and weighing 5,000 kilograms. For, let's just say a comparison in anime terms, someone like Big Mom, One Piece's tallest human character, is 8.8 meters tall. Bro was a fucking giant. And that was the ridiculous aspect of the first season. Like, man, could you believe seeing a 12-meter bear? Whoa. Now, the pack of the Wild Dogs is led by this very mysterious leader. You know? And he has gathered a lot of Wild Dogs already. But now we gather more during Jin's adventures. Here are some important figures. We have the vice commander of the pack called Sniper, who, let's just say, is a total fucking cunt. Like, he wants to usurp the leader and become, like, the leader of the pack. I know. Then we meet the first squad's commander, Ben, who is a massive, strong, kind-hearted, and a passionate Great Dane. We also meet on our travels 3 Akitagen dogs called Akatora, Kurotora, and Chudora, who are strong, and they will throw away their lives for Ben, because Ben did save them previously. We also meet Moss, a massive fucking British Mastiff, capable of great feats of strength. He is also surprisingly intelligent and a great father, would you believe that? We meet Akame, who is a pure white Kishu dog. He is also a shinobi dog, capable of things no normal dogs can. He can jump from trees to trees like some kind of a squirrel, you know, using weaponry. And he is also a great tactician. Also, fun fact about the Ginga canon, Akame's ancestor was the one who took the head of the great Oda Nobunaga way back when. And then we also get to meet someone like Beni Sakura, who is, let's just say, my fucking favorite. Smart, like compassionate, the strongest fighting dog that ever lived. Capable of throwing a fucking adult bull. A dog capable of throwing a bull, come on. Also, just few of the cool individuals, just way more, but we're not gonna talk about that. I'm just talking about the highlights, man. Now, the final battle is beginning, and you can expect a bloodbath. A whole lot of dogs and whole lot of bears lost their lives in that battle, and Akakabuto single-handedly took down over 300 dogs. One bear. So that is roughly what happens in Ginga Nagareboshi Jin, and the insanity keeps on going. Let's go with that. But yeah, you should definitely read the manga or watch the anime. We have Ginga Densetsu Weed, and it starts off with a 10-year time skip since the events of Ginga Nagareboshi Jin, and we follow Gin's son called Weed, and his travel to find his dad. On the way we meet a couple of important people, and some reoccurring characters like GB, who actually named Weed and acted as his father somewhat. Sasuke is, well, a Shiba Inu, but he's good friends with GB and Weed, but let's just say he's fucking useless, man. We also meet some legendary figures from past, like Smith, who I didn't actually mention. Hit a goat though, hit a goat. Okay. We also meet Ben's children. Ben did have have 3 kids, but only 2 of them are relevant. Ken and Georgie, and also Kurotora's kid, Kagetora. Shit happens, right? And the Futago Pass, which was the goal. Like, the dogs wanted to get the Futago Pass for them. You know, for their housing. They live there now, you know, after the event, so they want... Well, the Futago Pass is under attack by some evil dogs. This time it was Hogan's army. They are cruel, vicious, and hell, even few notable characters actually died during that fight. Weed is made out of few arcs. We have the first arc, Monster Arc, only like 4 or 5 volumes, and it's... yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. The Monster Arc is basically... the monster is a genetically altered German Shepherd who attacks like humans, and then their human attacks were blamed on the Ore Dogs, and it was fucking dumb. Okay, Hogan Arc. Probably one of the longest arcs in all of fiction. It took 26 volumes to complete. You know, good fights, good characters, sad deaths, epic fights. What can you ask, okay? Monkey Arc. That was dumb, okay? You get a comically large baboon, like 4 meters tall, when the normal baboon is like fucking meter tall, and came from like Kenya. And now he commands like Japanese macaques. He was named the Shogun, you know? And what he wants is the blood of puppies, or like babies, or something. And he also wielded a massive fucking axe, killed a lot of dogs until, well, whoop-de-doo, he died. It was fucking scary, man, though. And in this arc we also get to meet one of few Weed's brothers, who's like Yukimura, I think. Russian War Dog arc. This was also one of the longest, well, like, roughly 15, 16 volumes of length, and even more carnage, more deaths. Familiar characters died, we get more characters added to the roster, giga chance. This time the enemies were trained war dogs who escaped to Hokkaido from Siberia, or Manchuria to be specific. It was a fucking long arc, but it's so fucking good. And then the final arc of Weed, the hybrid arc. Well, the English translations ain't even complete yet, but I'm actually the one who's translating the rest of it, so one day, I guess. More death, destruction, epic moments, hell, even free depression, and Weed's third brother actually also showed his face, and he was called Joe. And it has so many fucking sequels, man. And again, each dumber than the last, I would say. Or the third part, Ginga Nagareboshi Orion, is once again under the attack by an enemy force. This time it's like a secret ninja organization from like the Edo period. They're all dogs, okay? More death, more new characters, betrayal perhaps, you know. And we also get to meet Weed's 3 sons. Regal, Orion, and Sirius. And those 3 brothers, let's just say, grew up differently because of who raised them and where they were raised. Because, let's just say, the area of all was like a volcano exploded nearby, so they couldn't live there, and all of them went their separate ways. And we just get to see the difference of what raising them differently makes, you know. It was pretty interesting and at the same time very dumb. And would you believe the English translation for this isn't even finished yet? It's still missing like 3 volumes, and the guy translating it previously was a fucking bellend. Full offense intended. Then we get the 4th part, The Last Wars. And the bears, they are back, baby! More known characters, at least 3 known characters died during that, and probably more. You know, which is a shame because I fucking liked every character who died. Well, I like all characters in Ginga, okay? But who fucking cares, right? We get Akakabuto's son, and that guy is back, baby! And he's so fucking cool, man, from his design, and, you know, he's also as large as his father, so, you know, bro is a fucking menace. Yeah. Yeah, okay. And we also get like massive fucking power creep. Hooray. Then we get to Ginga Nagareboshi and oh boy, that was a fever dream. Like, you should honestly just like skip this part, man. it's so fucking dumb. Like, we get God, we literally meet God, and it's like, yeah, I was gonna blow up your planet with an asteroid, but like, that dog over there is kinda cool, so I guess I'll save the planet then. Then we get space aliens and, you know, beings made off of like energy, and then like we get immortal dogs, and like God is like, let me just fucking delete those dogs from existence or dumb shit like that. We get like the US military being like, how about we nuke those dogs? Like, what? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, it was a favorite dream, but like Ginga Nagareboshi, the sixth part, is returning to the roots. Like, shit's normal again, okay? It's promising. It's not gonna be as insane as the previous part, okay? Now we get to the anime adaptations of Ginga Densetsu. Weed and Ginga Nagareboshi Jin. About weed? Yeah, we don't talk about that weed. Like, man. It is rushed. It looks like shit. It is badly animated. Like, there is nothing good about it. Except, like, the OST, like, the opening, ending, the soundtrack, the voice acting, all phenomenal, right? But, like, that action rate was, like, shit. It was, like, rushed. Like, it was... Let's just say, imagine if you took, like, all of Dragon Ball Z and crammed that shit into 22 episodes. DBZ has like 180 canon episodes judging by the DBZ Kai version, and they crammed like 250 chapters into 26 episodes. Like, they skipped a lot. Like, just like, imagine if the Saiyan arc was like 3 episodes, Namek was 7, Selandra was 6, and Buu was 7. We're talking like that shit. Like, yeah. Also, have some screenshots of Ginga of the anime. Ginga Nagareboshi Jin, on the other hand, was fantastic. It was made in like 1986 by Still Fucking Ray. Awesome soundtrack, great opening, good ending, beautiful voice acting by like industry veterans, and like it was well animated for the time, and you know, it still looks fucking great. You know, it still holds up. Also, some other things. Weirdly enough, the Ginga Nagareboshi Jin was only part to receive an English translation officially. Well, technically we did have an English translation for the manga, but it was 3 volumes back in 2001 by a publisher called Comics One, which later went bankrupt, so, you know, can't exactly do shit. Also, about the Ginga Nagareboshi Jin anime, which was extremely weird, was for some reason it was marketed towards kids in the Northern Europe. They were like PG-3, and they were still bloody, brutal, gory, anything. It was censored a slight bit, but not everything, and they cut down things to make it into like 4 movies, but it was later released in uncut DVD format, and well, I have that down. Here I have some fucking Danish covers which look like bootlegs. Also, some cool facts. Finland is the only country besides Japan to actually translate all of Ginga officially. That's fucking insane. Ginga Nagareboshi Jin did get an, you know, official English translation back in like 2018, but it's only digital, no physical copies. RIP. Doubtful Yoshihiro Takahashi is also a fan of Finland. He has visited the country a couple times, few times for a convention, but the latest was a trip sponsored by the Kyoto Manga Museum. He came here in 2023, and there was an event where you could get his autograph on a poster, so of course I fucking went. Every day there was a different poster, and I went on Sunday because, man, that had my favorite poster. I came there pretty early, and there was still like 30 people ahead of me on the line. I saw some original manuscripts of Ginga, so, that was fucking cool. If I had come a little later, I would have been stuck behind like hundreds of people. It was held in a mall, and the line was like as long as the mall itself. It's a fucking sick event. I even got a selfie by the guy. I'm like, man, it was wild. And, well, also have that photo of all of Ginga. Like, how it looks physically. It is fucking great. Well, all I can say, it's a great read, and you definitely should give it a shot. I need more people on it, okay? Well, thanks, bye.